Hi, everyone, and welcome to OneMicNite, the podcast that brings you stories of artists and people on their journey, helping to guide, answer questions, and motivate you in life and the business. You already know who I am. It's Marcos Luis, and I'm back, and I want to thank everybody for joining me for another episode. We've had a good season 5, and we've been doing this for 18 years, so I want to thank everybody for sticking along with me for OneMicNite and the transition and the live series, the talk, and now we're on the podcast. So thank you. Today, my guest is a screenwriter. He's an actor, he's a filmmaker, and I'm very excited to have him. His name is Sidney Afriyie, and I want to welcome him to OneMicNite. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. I'm doing good. How's everything?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time out. Listen, I have questions.
Okay, let's do
The
it.
first question is, who is Sidney Afriyie?
Oh man. Okay. So Sydney Afriyie is a Ghanaian gentleman. I would say. Well, now I call myself a gentleman. I'm not a kid no more. And maybe a gentleman and young man. Okay, cool. But the Ghanaian gentleman who was born in Ghana, West Africa, but then later on moved to Frankfurt, Germany, and then later on moved to Amsterdam,
Mm,
and later on moved to East London, Newham. And then from there, my parents were just like, you know what? New York City it is. So we ended up settling in New York City, and here I am. And growing up, I always wanted to express myself some way because I felt like I was always just misunderstood. People just never really understood me or get things that I was saying. So I was like, you know what? I want to find a way where people will look at me and say, okay, you know what? I stand with you. I get you. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I knew that, um, a lot of my friends growing up were musicians, rappers. And I tried it, but I was like, nah, not really my thing, man. It's cool. It's good. I get it. I get the concept of it, and you do express yourself in that way too. But I was like, you know what? I need something else. So I ended up, falling into this difficult, lovely thing called filmmaking, which
yeah.
which was like, needed, because, actually learning a lot about art and acting has actually helped me understand people, because every character that I play, I do the backstory. And, I realized that, we all did not wake up a murderer. Something led to us becoming that person. No one woke up a racist. Something led on for them to become this person. So being an actor first have actually taught me a lot and helped me understand, just the nature of human beings. So yeah, Sidney Freer is an actor, director, writer, producer, filmmaker. So here I am.
I like that. There's a couple of things you said. Um, First of all, I want to take it back just a little bit more. You grew up in a lot of different places. Did that play any role in forming who you are? Because traveling all over the
Oh,
world is,
yeah,
that's something.
yeah.
A lot of people don't
Yeah,
have that
yeah, yeah.
experience.
Yeah, no, it really did because I lived in Ghana. Well, I was born in Ghana. Left Ghana at the age of 4 years old. Haven't been back since, but I do plan to go back. My parents do go back often, all the time. I do plan to go back sometime this year. But yeah, being in Ghana and also learning the native language, which is Tree, it's called Tree. A lot of Ghanaians, when they meet me, I talk very fluent. I sound American for sure. I
Right.
speak very well in American dialogue. So they like, once I start speaking Tree, and they look at me like, wait, are you Ghanaian? I'm like, yeah, 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 I'm Ghanaian. They're like, no way, man, but you sound like you're from America. And I'm like, well, yes, that's what happens when you've been living in America for quite some time, for a long time. And then also, well, my parents, they speak German. They're very good at it. I never really picked up on that because I was a bit young. And then also, they speak other different languages, but most the ones that I picked up more was the tree and just regular American and American British accent, I would say. But yeah, yeah, and also bouncing around a lot, it definitely did shape me to being the person I am. A lot of my buddies, friends look at me sometimes. They're like, how do you do it? One person asked me, how do you do it? And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, well, because you could just get up and go and just go hang out with someone that you don't even know. And I was like, well, yes, because growing up, I'm bouncing around a lot. So it's like, you know what? Sometimes you don't have no time to wait. It's like, once you meet someone, okay, let's
Right.
get to know each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't know, I might be out of here in the next couple of months. So you know what? Yeah, who are you? What are we doing? So that definitely did help a lot, growing up.
Living in all these different countries, is there a through line that sort of, connects the dots for every country? Is there something that's, that you can say that correlates uh, maybe to the human experience in shaping who you
Um,
are?
yeah, I mean, wait, elaborate that question one more time.
Meaning
Elaborate.
like, having traveled, having lived, because a lot of people don't have that experience. Is there something that you've learned that has helped to formulate who you are that's a through line through the human experience?
Yeah, I mean, just something I've learned living in all these places is, I mean, no matter what color you are, I mean, literally, we're all the same. Literally, people do things very similar, maybe at the wrong time or not at the same time, but it's like literally the same. In Ghana, the way the culture in Ghana and how the culture it is over here with, my Black American friends, very, very similar. Even the food that is eaten, they call it something different here, but in Ghana is also called different, but it's like the same thing. Like, like the plantains, they call it plantains here, but in
Right. Yeah.
Ghana, that was the name of it called, and I forgot the name of it. But in Ghana, they call it something else, and then they eat it. And, we eat it all the same. Everything is like literally, even in the UK, same thing. It's like so.
Right.
That's one thing I've learned is, living on all these different places, that literally we are all the same. Like there's no different. Maybe we
Right.
may eat plantains at a different time, but they eat else at a different time. So that's timing is just a different thing, but we're all the same. That's one thing I've definitely learned a lot.
Right. Does any of that translate in the work that you do as an actor, or I guess now as a screenwriter? And
Yeah, as I said to you earlier, it definitely, writing definitely helped me. Well, not even just writing, but just studying the art and learning a lot about different characters. It helped me. And also I could relate a lot of the characters that I've written or played to certain people in my life, like and it helped me, just being around certain individuals. Like right now, I'm actually working on another project, and one of the characters I wrote, I didn't really realize that I was writing about a friend that's literally with me every day.
oh,
And
wow,
I had to call him.
wow,
Yeah, I had to call
wow.
him like, yo, I had to call him like, hey, yo, think this character. I mean, you guys have you guys have different names, but this is you, man. This is you. Real chill, real laid back, calm. He's down for whatever, but very mellow, keeps himself. And I was like, yeah, so definitely that helps a lot. Just being around certain individuals.
How's your
Yeah.
experience, being in film or even on stage? How has that helped you to become a writer as an actor? How's that helped you become a writer?
Seeing the different formats of different plays, scripts, and just understanding the layouts and the formats. It definitely helped me. A few people have asked me, "Hey, have you went to like writing school?" I'm like, "No, I've never went to writing school, but I've read a lot of books. I read a lot of books, and I read a lot of plays. So, and I've done a lot of plays, so I actually know scripts format on how it's supposed to go, how it's supposed to look, and how it's supposed to just make sense, and who to like pitch it to, who to give it to. So that has definitely helped. Just doing a lot of plays have helped me. Just have the vision on writing and how to put it all together.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think, and I asked you all those questions just to say, a lot of times we as artists, actors, screenwriters, we take the human experience, we watch it, we
Right.
revive it, we make it our own, or we study a character and we
Right.
bring that to life in our way. So all your experiences in life, living in the UK, living in Germany, living in, wherever else you live, Ghana, and watching people and connecting with people, all different types of people, that's what gives you the experience to do what you do. You don't really need to go to school. You might, like you said, you might need to know the format of how to do it, but it's the realistic, emotions, the feelings, what you've seen, what you felt. That's where the power of it all comes from.
You're right.
Right.
Thought about that. Yeah, absolutely right.
Interesting. Yeah, and my hat goes off to people who can do that. You don't really need to go to school. A lot of people they go to school and they say, "Oh, well, I got to keep taking classes." No, you actually have to perform. You actually have to get out there and perform. It's not so much of the
Yep.
taking classes that you need to do. You do need to learn some things. You can always be
Right.
better. You're constantly learning. But the actual application of what you've seen in life, what you felt in life, and I don't know if some people are method actors, some people just do it naturally, but whatever it is that helps you convey it, it's actually looking like you're looking at me right now. You're watching how animated I am. So then in your mind, you're going back, you can write a script and say, this guy was this guy did this is how he did it. It's the
Right.
actual physical part of it all.
No,
And that
you're
sounds
absolutely
like
right.
that's what you've done.
Sometimes some people have to tell me like, yeah, this is how, I think you've been doing it the whole time. And I have to sit back and think about it. Like, yeah, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Not thinking. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
What are some of the
Wow.
projects you've worked on? I know you've been in maybe a series or two that was on HBO. You've done some.
Yeah, yeah, I've done some a lot of well, I started up in theater.
Mhm.
I'm a theater actor. I've done I'll say over 50 plus maybe theater productions
That's
in New
huge.
York and also some in PA. Then later on I dive into doing some television. So I did a few stuff with Madam Secretary, and then I did a lot of indies, short films, and a few feature films. I think one of them was called It Might Kill Me. I don't remember the name.
The
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Oof, I don't remember the name. Wow. Okay. Hopefully, it come
Merge,
back. Yeah,
uh,
yeah. So the
Pause with
merge.
Sam
Yeah.
J. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Sam J. Yeah, that was a good one.
mhm.
uh, see, so a lot of the stuff that I've done. Oh my gosh,
That's
I
okay. I
forget.
mean, the point of it all is do you have a preference? Do you like to work in independent films? Do you like stage better? Do you like any of those things? Do you have a preference?
I don't, man. I'm open to it all. It's
I
like,
love that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. As an artist, man, you can't really put yourself in that one bubble.
Right,
People act sometimes. Oh, who's your favorite actor? Don't have one, man.
right.
I watch everybody. I'm a student and I like to watch everybody. I grown up in my household. My parents, they were real, real big, theater and film buffs. So I had to learn at a very young age about the Arthur Millers, the Eugene O'Neills, the Marlon Brandos, and those type of people. So a lot of the times when I'm like watching film, sometimes I'm like, especially now. It's like I know I catch on to what's going on, what's happening. Also, if the performance doesn't pull me in, I tend to, just move on to the next. Or even I don't honestly I don't watch TV. That's the crazy part. I don't watch TV. I'd rather go watch a
You
play.
you rather watch a play?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Me
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Me too.
yeah.
And you know what? I watch more independent films and commercial films. Same with
Yes,
you?
that
Yeah,
yes, that,
yeah.
yep, yep. I'm open to that. I'm very, very open to that one because I like to see who's the new person coming up, or what are they working on, or what can I learn from this person that I don't have part of my what repertoire. So yeah,
And also, I think, with independent films, you're not so much compromised with the way you put your material out. So if you're an independent filmmaker, a director, there's really nobody that you're answering to. You're not answering to the big machine. Whatever you want your ending to be, that's the artistic value it is. And as
right,
an actor, I prefer to work on independent films too, because they allow so much more creativity. What you do. Yes, yes, you have direction. Yes, you have somebody, a producer, but as an artist, they usually allow you a lot more creativity with what you're doing. I like that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So you have a project coming out right now. Tell us the name of it and what's it about.
It's called Perfect Attention. Perfect Attention is a film about a young man that loses both parents, but still keeps that spiritual connection. So good or bad news, he's at his parents' gravestone cemetery, presenting it to them, because he still has that connection with them. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, when you lose something so close and so dearly, nothing can substitute it, but there could be a balance. And the balance is finding true love, the
Mm,
birth of a child, the love for a pet animal, the love for a job, friend, whatever. So the film actually, points that out as well, and then also touches a lot on mental health. We do live in a world that is it needs to just be put to the light more. And we live in a world where so much people, we all have trauma, we all are battling, dealing with our own trauma. But
right,
sometimes when you speak out about it, you don't know how you be judged. You don't know how people will look at you like you don't want to just get criticized, and you don't want to get like just point fingers pointing towards you. So you tend to hold it in, and then later on you end up one, hurting yourself, or two, hurting others.
right.
So the film points that out as well, and also it shows the other most important thing, which is having a mentor. I grew up around a lot of friends that had so much great ideas, so much great creativity things going on, and they didn't know what route to go. So they ended up just, giving up. And then, I know that if they had someone, a guidance, someone that actually understand and know the field or business, whatever they're going to, or even like a close mentor, they would have, be, put it out there more, and it would probably change the world in some way somehow. So, and since they didn't have that mentor, they ended up, giving up and just putting it to the side and not even paying no mind to it. So the film also points out a lot on how we not just as young adults, but everyone, we all need a mentor and we all need a therapist. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that I don't know what are the characters? Are they specifically colored? Uh Meaning I
No,
don't
no,
mean
it's
like colored people. I
diverse.
mean, did you choose your characters based on a color or
No. When you say did I choose my characters or did I
Mhm.
choose my actors? How is it how I chose my actors or how I
Actors?
chose
Yeah,
my
actors and characters, meaning.
so with this one right here, I didn't really have like a casting. It was just more like a personal conversation, like my lead one of my lead actors, Juliet. Actually, we met I've known Juliet for a very long time, and we met at an event in the city, and she was telling me, about how she wants to get back into the arts, this and that. So I pitched the film to her, and I told her I was like, I'm gonna send you a script. I just want you to read it. Let me know what your thoughts about it is. And she read it, and I remember her calling me, and she's just like, oh, oh, whoa, wow. And I was like, yeah, what do you think about it? And the way that she described all of the characters and how she described the character that I had in mind for her to play. After the conversation, I was just like, you know what? How would you like it if you played this character? And she was just like, oh wow. At first, she was just like I'm getting myself back into it, man. Like this is like a big, responsibility. So I ended up, we ended up going to dinner, me, her, and Brocton Pierce, and also the co-writer as well, the person that wrote, the script with me, Petulia Blake. You know, we went to dinner, and it was just everything was just so natural. Everything just played out very well, and it just all made sense. And that happened with all the other characters, all actors. We all like it was just more personal conversation. We just all spoke about just life, and I wanted to see how their view on life was. And
Yeah,
it just made sense. It just made
yeah.
sense. So I was like, you know what, this is perfect. Let's do it. Yeah, yeah. You're it. You're it. You're it. Yep, you're in. You're in.
I
Let's
like
go.
that. I like that. I guess what I was kind of asking was, did you, in your mind, were you making a universal film? Were you specifically targeting, men of color, women of color, or I guess that's pretty much what I was asking. I wasn't so much asking about the casting, but
Oh yeah.
that's.
Yeah. Well, no, it's definitely a universal film.
Mhm.
Because when I write, I don't really. It depends on the film, but I don't really like focus on one culture or anything like that. I because we all can relate to pain. Pain is something that everybody can relate to. So the film is definitely something that and a guy from the Middle East could look at and say, yeah, you know what, I definitely I'm gonna go seek therapy. Or, an Asian guy could look at it and say, you know what, yeah, I like this, and it makes a lot of sense, and I'm definitely gonna look into, sitting down with a therapist and working on myself. So the film was, it's universal. It's
Right.
universal.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Why mental health? Why not football? Why not basketball? Why not, you know?
Well, we all go through stuff, Yeah, that was going. Why not? Why not football, basketball? That's good.
Why is it
Yeah,
important to you?
we all. It's important because growing up, especially in New York, I grew up around a lot of friends that sometimes being around them, you could sense that they're going through something. They're calling out for help, but you know they don't want to be judged, looked at, criticized. They don't want to be, so they end up holding it in and going out there taking that anger out on others, and either one thing end up going to prison for quite some time, or even end up being killed because of things like that. So I just wanted to it was more like an experience. I've been around it, and even with myself, yes, I do have my own trauma and things that I've dealt with, growing up, being coming into the United States, being a Ghanaian African boy,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
that's cultural shock, of
It's a lot.
course.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's a
yeah,
lot. So, it's so much that was on me, or laid on me, physically and mentally and emotionally. So I was like, you know what? I can't sit back and let any other, new generation of new kids go through this, So let's bring this, to the forefront. Let's talk about it.
right.
So
And not only talk about it, but I feel like we need to find solutions to the problem. And I think that when you make films like you've made, this is part of the solution because seeing someone, as you said, like you or the story that resonates with you, we learn from. What's the
right.
takeaway from it all? What's the takeaway from the film?
Like when you say take away, like
What's
what
the
do I want
message you want
people
to give us when we see the film?
the message that I want to give is it is okay to go through something. It's okay to go through. Listen, it's okay that you're going through this. It's part of being a human being. But don't just keep it in. Don't hide it. Don't keep it hidden. Go out there and talk to somebody. A lot of the times that's all what people need to do is just let's sit down, let's talk about it. Let's go grab a coffee. Let's
There
let's
you go.
let's have a conversation about it,
That's it.
because many times it's no one has nobody, they don't have anybody to talk to. Everything is all held in. And then it's like a bottle, when you keep pouring so much in, later on it's gonna burst. It's gonna, and that's what happens when we have these mass school shootings and stuff like that going on, because people have so much buildup inside of them that they don't have nobody to talk to. And sometimes when you go and talk to somebody that you think want to listen to, they wave you off, or oh yeah, let's talk about it later, and then they never come back to it. So the message, is just reach out to someone, and if they don't listen, or they don't want to, they're not aware, reach out to another person. Let's
Right.
talk. Go out there, and it's okay to open up and talk about
I think a lot of times people are afraid that when they do reach out to people, and as you said before, there's a stigma with it all. But reaching out to someone, maybe they don't want to hear it. So why would I want to bother them with my problems? Why would I want to bother them? When in fact, someone who is your friend or your parent or your spouse or your whatever, they do care, and we as humans, as friends, as spouses, as parents, as whatever, we should be receptive. We should be open to those things. And it's not just, when you go someplace, even like in the supermarket, you say, "How are you?" Take a moment and just listen, receive what they're saying. You're
it.
asking them, how you doing today? Take a moment
Right.
and receive what they're saying. Those type of things,
Yep.
those open up dialogues on a daily basis to help people,
Absolutely.
right?
No, you're right.
I
Absolutely,
also
you're
want
right.
to say, you were talking about this being youth. I have a couple of statistics here, but in 2023, 87% of the youth experienced some sort of mental health issue regularly. 58% anxiety. That's the leading cause of mental health issues. Um, Globally, 1 in 7 10 to 19-year-olds experience mental health disorder. That's a lot
Yeah.
for kids,
Wow.
you know? And what's the answer? What do we do? And as you said before, you make films like this. You let people know it's okay to talk to somebody, talk to your friends. Maybe they're going through the same thing. Talk to your parents,
Absolutely.
reach out,
Right.
you know?
Just have a conversation. Don't
Yeah.
stop. Don't, don't let nothing, let you hold that in, and just open up and talk. Sometimes people look at me like I'm strange. Weird. You're weird.
Right.
Why do you talk to people, just anybody? I'm like, it's the world.
It's the
The
world. You have
world
to.
for real.
Exactly. Exactly. And as you did,
Go out there.
sometimes you might want to sit down and write about it. That
Yeah.
could be your movie.
Right
Keep a
in.
journal,
Right. Some people put it in music. Some people,
music.
or yeah. So,
Ab-
art never dies. Art
It
never
sure
dies.
doesn't. It's supposed to make you
Yeah.
question things and talk about it. That's what art does.
Tell me, tell me about it. It's crazy.
So what's coming up?
Oh man.
When's the film coming out? Where can we see it and all those things?
So right now I'm having a screening March 9th, which is this coming Saturday, at the Latia Theater. Starts at 7 p.m. to about 9:45 p.m. So that is at Lower Manhattan. If you look up Latia Theater, it is. Let me get the address. So we could put it out there.
It's an actual theater, right?
Yeah, it's an actual theater.
It's Teatro de la Tigre.
Yeah, Latia. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it is. It is actually at. 1 second. Okay, yep. So it is at 107 Suffolk Street, New York, New York, 10002, and that is in Manhattan.
Sure is. That's a famous theater, award-winning theater
Yeah,
in New York City.
yes, yes. I've heard a lot of great things about that. I've heard a
Absolutely.
lot of great, and they're great people, great individuals in there. As soon as I went in there and I sat down with the staff and crew over there, and we just had a conversation, and I told them what the film was about. It was like, let's do it. Yeah, let's go. Let's put it out there. So I'm very appreciative and blessed to have to know great people and to connect with great people as well. So
It's a
yeah,
beautiful thing. The film sounds great. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to hear more about it. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and tell us the name of the film one more time.
the name of the film is called Perfect Attention. Perfect Attention. And I'm gonna be more active on social media. My Instagram, Kwame Reincarnation. I don't know. When I come to social media, I'm very, very hesitant. Being an artist, I said, I'm young, but I'm very old school. Again, my Instagram is Kwame Reincarnation, KWAMEREINCARTION. And yeah, whenever you can inbox me. I reply to a lot of inbox, but I don't use post. If you see me post something up, I love watching a lot of the funny videos. Because laughter is also very healing.
Absolutely.
Laughter is very, very healing. So,
Absolutely.
you see, watching a lot of
Got to get a good laugh
also,
at every now.
right. Always, always. I love laughing. I love laughing. I love it. Yeah.
One more thing. How can, if you're casting for future films, can people reach out to you and send you pictures and resume, or what should they do?
Yes. You could also inbox me on Instagram. That's one, and I will definitely reply. And then also my email address is SydneyAfriye94@gmail.com. So I'm gonna spell that. So it is SYDNEY, A as in apple, F as in Frank, R as in right, I as in ice, Y as in youth, I as in ice, E as in Edward, 94@gmail.com. And I will get back to you. And you yourself, you guys send your stuff over, Marcos.
I will. I'm in the inbox right now. Yesterday. Everybody. Everybody, it's Sidney Afriyie. His film is coming up this weekend, March 9th. Make sure all the information will be down in the notes of this episode. Please make sure you support him at Teatro de la Tigre. We know where it is because we're New Yorkers, award-winning theater. We will be there. Check it out. You're doing big things. Please come back to see us at OneMicNite. Mental health is always of importance here at OneMicNite. So thank you very much for everything you're doing. We appreciate it. Everybody, please make sure you drop me a DM, Marcos Luis, Marcosluis. The show is called OneMicNite. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Jump in the live chat. Check us out. Also, if you want your OneMicNite mugs, you know where to get them. All the info will be down below. I'm Marcos Luis. We'll see you next time. This is OneMicNite. Bye.